leadership to me is living by example.
Okay.
You know, in the military, there are two kinds of leaders. There one kind that will point to the hill and say, go take that hill. Okay. And then there's another kind that will grab the gun and start charging down the hill, and they say, let's take that hill. Mm. Well, the one who grabs the gun and runs down the hill, that's a leader. The first principle of leadership is to lead by example. Okay. To live your life in such a way that if the people follow you and do what you do, everything will be all right.
Welcome to the Nicholas Brown Podcast, a podcast talk show about real estate investing, business leadership, and personal development. Each week, we explore current real-life case studies about how to build financial independence through investing in real estate to build your personal portfolio through passive income models, along with interviews from the top business leaders and personal development leaders. Now, here's your host, Nicholas Brown.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I got another episode, but if you listen to my previous episodes, make sure you download that. I don't know what episode it is, but I know it was earlier. You can do this. I got Dr. Harris back again, but make sure you guys download. If you're listening on a podcast, subscribe, whatever podcast handle you're using. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe also. I got ongoing series about leadership, which I got one of my personal mentors. I've been knowing him for a minute. I want to make this short. Like I said, we're not going to get passionate. I'm going to let him get passionate in the subject. What I'm going to do, we're going to read the about section. Then we're going to go deep into the book. I have an author here. He sold hundreds of thousands of books. If you download that, I'm just going to cut it short. The 12 Universal Laws of Success. We're going to get more into this book. I'm going to get some chapters that ties in with leadership, and it ties in with personal development. This is a great book, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to read the about section, and then we're going to get deep into it. I'm going to ask Dr. Harris some questions. I'm going to read some chapters in this book, and then we're going to get his perspective, okay? So here we go. Let me get the about section here. Dr. Harris is a personal development leader, author of the book called The 12 Universal Laws of Success. This book provides an organized, straightforward, step-by-step approach to basic success principles and the laws of universe under which they operate. For more information, reach out to Dr. Harris at herbertharris.com. As I said before, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get deep into it. You'll see what I mean. So what I'm going to do, the short version of this, went to the Marine Corps, 89 to 93, got out of the Marine Corps. I say about 4 to 5 years after that, I came across, if you guys know my age, go to PBS, you watch I don't know if he's a doctor, but Tony Brown, the Tony Brown show on PBS. I saw this man, ladies and gentlemen. I saw this man out there. That's how long it tell you. So it's been over some 25 years. Am I right, Dr. Harris?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
25 years. So the story to this, if you see this book here on YouTube, every time when I used to pass this book out and let someone read it, I could never get this book back. I just tell you how good this book is, personal development. At that time, I remember going to work in Northern Dallas on there, having this book on the bus stop, reading chapters on there. But if I gave it away, I couldn't get it back. So this is an example. But here's what I'm going to do. If you guys listen in, make sure you grab this on Amazon. It's on the site. Grab this book, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm going to read page 26. I'm going to go to page 26, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to get his perspective. But I'm going to read something that ties in with being a leader and being personal development. So this here ties in with the introduction of the book, and it's called The 4 Stages of Life, which is education, sensation and experience, power, immortality, which, if you can, Dr. Harris, explain that, the 4 stages we go through in life.
Well, you know, Nicholas, the 4 stages, that first stage is the stage of education.
Okay.
Which is your first stage. It's generally from birth until about 20 to 25 years old. Okay. And the essence of that stage is, this is where you learn the basic principles of life.
Okay.
This is where you learn the difference between right and wrong. This is where you learn your value system. Also, you learn some of the negative things. You know, the first 3 words a child learns are no, stop, and don't.
Mm.
And then once they start talking, they learn shut up.
Right.
And so in this first stage of life, it's really about teaching you how not to get hurt, and hopefully how to prosper, how to learn, how to process.
That's right.
It prepares you for the second stage of life, which is the stage of what I like to call it experience and sensation.
Okay.
And here you have, this is where you learn about things that feel good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you learn
what ages is that? That's why I want the listeners and people watching. I want them to focus on that, especially my demographics from 40 and 50. You're gonna hit it when you talk about the third and fourth stage. But the first stage, normally, like you said, it's an infant. What and a teenager. What ages is that for as a education? You would say.
Well, the education, the first stage is like the first 20 or 25 years.
Hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, 20 to 25 years. Okay.
And then from age 20 to 40, in that area, 20 to 40, 25 to 50, that we call that the age of sensation.
Okay, age of sensation. Okay.
And that's where you move out from home, for example. That's when you sort of strike out on your own and you learn about life. You learn about things that feel good, things that feel bad. You learn about sex, you learn about love, you learn about drugs, you learn about competition. You learn about really your sense of feeling begins to develop, whether you feel good about yourself.
Okay.
The things that happen in that first stage begin to manifest in the second stage.
Okay. Which, ladies and gentlemen, this is a man of wisdom. I promise this. I'm gonna tell you a story. That's where it leads to this. It's leadership. That's why I want to focus these podcasts for the next 3 to 6 months or this year or whatever on leadership. This man, if I give you the list of the people he's been with or helped, for example, I'll go with, for me, with Reverend Knight. Everybody, I tell an age difference, but I want to get back to this, Dr. Harris. Let's talk about leadership. Were you always an entrepreneur spirit as a younger age too? Were you in a leadership?
Yeah, I was always an entrepreneur. You know, my
Okay.
mother was an entrepreneur. She was a school teacher.
Okay.
But she also taught music. Okay.
Ah, okay. Okay.
She was also a seamstress.
Wow. Okay.
And she had little groups that she had. You know, she was a musician. She had a little gospel group.
Okay.
So she was always, a job was just like the anchor.
Okay.
But the other entrepreneurial things were what brought her money from all kinds of other directions.
So with that, Dr. Harris, you followed her. She led you, but she followed you. Somehow she inspired you. Am I correct? To become an entrepreneur. Okay. Yeah. That's what we want to focus. That's why I want to give you an example. So when you said that chapter for education sensation, someone led you to that. So it was your follower, it was your group. It was your mother, right?
My mother, and I had an uncle.
So tell me that. So you followed a leader, which is your mother at that time, and you said you had an uncle also that stood out that led you to, I'm thinking, to the second stage of your 20s to become a attorney, right?
Become an attorney. I finished college at that point because I started college very young. I started college at 16.
Wow. 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 Using them books, huh?
Oh, so, man, I was an Urkel before there was an Urkel.
Okay. You're right.
And the beautiful thing about my uncle was he was a very successful lawyer. He was an entrepreneur.
Okay.
But he represented Wilt Chamberlain. You remember the basketball player? He represented Della Reese, the singer.
Wow.
A lot, Sidney Poitier, who just passed. I met Sidney in his law office.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Your uncle was part of that.
Yeah, my uncle was a part of that. He was a part of an era. He came along in the 50s. He started practicing law in the 50s.
Wow.
And he came along at an era in which, especially people of color, but where you had to lay track. You know, in life, you were going to talk a bit
about. He pioneered.
He was a pioneer. See, you can either lay track or get on the train. And see, Leaders are the ones who lay track.
I like that. You can lay track or get on the train. I love that. I love that. Okay. Okay.
So he was a person who laid track. And when you're affiliated with a person who lays track, that's a different kind of relationship. You see.
Okay. Okay.
And very often, you know, as a leader, here he was a military man too.
Really?
But as a leader, you have leaders who, when we look at the stages of life, just sort of tying it all together.
Right.
That second stage of life, in that stage of sensation, many people who are potential leaders get sucked into the feeling nature.
Okay.
So they may develop bad habits like alcohol. Okay.
Okay.
They may develop that whole emotional thing where they get so involved with women and chasing whomever you like. Okay.
Right. Right.
To the point that they lose track, they lose sight of the vision.
Thinking that status as a leader.
There you go.
Thinking that's gonna help them, you know, to keep moving or whatever. Hey, if I drink this, if I smoke this, I can do more work or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
And see, and then in that second stage of life, your ego strikes out too. Now you want to look a certain way. You want people to respond to you in a certain way.
Okay.
And that can either be positive or negative, because when you move into the third stage of life.
What age is that, Dr. Harris?
Now we're talking now 40 to 60.
Okay. Okay.
Now, everybody moves at a different, but somewhere 40 to 60. Some people don't get to the third stage until they're 50 years old, 50 to 75, but most people 40 to 60.
Let me make a point, Dr. Harris, for leadership and success. Success is not always about money, ladies and gentlemen. It's not all about money. Am I right, Dr. Harris? Not all about money, because money is just a transaction, so, you know, financial freedom to me. You know, I don't have to have, so it just varies. So do not get that mixed up, ladies and gentlemen. You know, am I right, Dr. Harris? Because of that age you coming with.
The way to keep score. You see,
right?
Money, I think everybody kind of agrees that money is necessary.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's necessary.
But most of us, we say we want money, but we really want happiness.
That's right. Right.
And so maybe money can give us some security to commit us not to be worried about, you know, where we eat and where we drink and where we live, to give us a little more happiness, time to be happy. So, but money in itself is really nothing other than Johnny Coleman, a great minister, a good friend of Reverend Ike's. Johnny Coleman said, money is the getting potential of your self-image.
Money is the getting potential of your self-image. Okay. Okay.
And so what that means is this: your self-image can be so strong that you can get what other people have to pay for nothing.
That's deep. That's right. That's right. Right.
And right. So that third
that's
stage,
deep, man. I love it. I love it. So tell them that story, Dr. Harris. I want to focus on you. You're a successful man. You're a successful man. How you came to your point and got to Mr. Tony Brown. People don't know the story. I'm telling them the story as a leadership on there. But at that age, did you go through some ups and downs for your third stage? Yeah, because you was an attorney, right? You was an attorney.
An attorney, and you know, one of the things, Nicholas, about having money young, I had a couple of really good deals. So by the time I was 20 years old, I bought my first car, paid me a convertible Thunderbird.
Wow.
You know, got a house. Right. And so what I found was that when you get money young, sometimes you can get off course. Okay. And we see it a lot with our athletes. When you get I never got the kind of, you know, millions of dollars, but I got enough money at that time to change my life.
Right.
And that money can pull you off the path because money gives you options.
That's right. Right.
And every option is not a good one.
That's right. All money ain't good money, I always say. Yeah. Be careful. Yeah. Right. Right.
And so I had to overcome bad habits. I mean, I was at that age, being 20, 25, 30 years old, that second stage of life, that age of sensation, having some money gave you great possibilities. So I was a ladies' man, you know.
Okay.
I had a brownstone, you know, in New York or Harlem. My old house now sells for about $3 million. But at the time I got it, it was, Harlem was just evolving again.
Right. But you had money, because real estate, ladies and gentlemen, well, y'all know this is real estate. I deal with real estate. So he done that. I just want y'all to know the stages. Everybody goes through up and down, but here's an example here, the wealth. So for leadership. So at that time, did you have some slight failures?
Oh man, I had failures. Yeah, well, I made a lot of bad decisions, but you know, to tie this in, that first stage of life where you get your value system.
Okay.
That when you come along in that second stage, that it's sensation and experience, the value system is like a rudder on a ship. You know, when you're on I like to call it the river of time. You're like a boat on the river of time, and your rudder is what guides the ship.
Okay.
And so as a young person, when you can get a strong value system, the sense of right and wrong and who you really are, then when that second stage, when those failures come, you know how to handle them. Okay. When the disappointments come, you know how to handle it. And so with a strong value system from my parents, you know, I never went so far overboard that I couldn't get back.
Right.
When you're in that sensation stage, if all you lose is money, I've lost my house, I've lost my money, okay, and had to literally start over at least 3 times. You know?
But it was in your head. You had the plan. You had
you always had the plan. You know?
Right.
When stuff didn't go right, very early, I learned that failure. There's no such thing as failure. There are only lessons.
That's right.
If you accept failure, then you'll never be successful. When things don't work for you, when you lose your money, when you lose a deal, when stuff goes against you, if you have the attitude that this is a lesson, that the purpose of this failure is to teach me a lesson.
That's right.
The word, at least I learned what not to do.
Right. And people pay you because you're telling them, hey, you don't want to do that. They'll pay you because you take them to the road, the straight and narrow, because went through it. Right.
But you know, Nicholas, you're in real estate. One of the things in that era, that second stage of life, I learned a little bit about Harlem was a hot area for no money down. You know, Harlem was going through a transition, and it was hard to get loans. They had redlined the district in New York. And so you couldn't get bank loans, very hard. Okay. And so as a result, what do you call it? No money down deals were always around.
Creative financing.
Creative financing. But what I learned about the no money down deal, it's not about the no money down, is what it takes to put that piece of property in operation.
That's right. The cash flow.
Oh, cash flow, how you get into cash flow. And then you come in New York City, you get a house with no money down. First, if somebody's selling you a deal with no money down, that's something they want to get rid of. So that right there.
Right. Or they don't have the creative technique to get some type of cash flow. Yeah.
They've given up on it. They don't know how to convert that particular property into an asset.
Right.
And so they give it to you with no money down. You jump in it. And man, you get a town like New York where you have tenants, where you have rent control, where you have regulations. I bought a property one time, and when they didn't have heat, the furnace was defective, and it was in the winter. And man, next thing I know, they're fining me $1,000 a day.
Wow, really? Could you afford it at that time of your stage of life? You couldn't? Okay.
You never afford a fine of $1,000 a day. I don't care how rich you are. It's like
without losing the property. That's what my point was. Yeah.
You don't lose the property, but the fine really clamped you down, and that got ugly. And then what I learned from that was no money down was okay, but you needed to have money available to develop that asset.
Right, reserves, as we call it. Yeah, miscellaneous.
You don't hear a lot about no money down deals too much because, man, a lot of us who got into that, man, you get in there with no money down, and real estate can be like a black hole, man. It could be sucking up your money from this and sucking up, and then you get the tenants, then you get a rent strike. and you can find yourself in a whole situation.
Well, on a side note, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm gonna get back to the leadership. I'm gonna tell my profession is there is no money down situation. How you structure that? It's all about the paper. It's all about the construction on that. So even in your time, Dr. Harris, I could have had a no money down situation because it's what you write on that contract. If you want it for 50, you know, and you need 5,000 down, I'm probably gonna sell it to someone for 55 or 60 and give me 10,000 down. I'm gonna give you your 5. I'm gonna walk away with 5, but I'm still on the contract. I control that saying on that paper. This episode is brought to you by Nicholas Brown, REI.club. Hello and thanks for watching this brief video. My name is Nicholas Brown. I'm an author and a residential developer here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we're on target this quarter of redeveloping 5 properties here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And our passive investors, they're just sitting back and relaxing it because they're enjoying receiving the double-digit returns, which is protected, secured, and insured. So if you're a passive investor, or if you have 401k or retirement income or decent credit scores in the 700 and above, then download our chart for more information at nicholasbrownrei.club/partner, and I'll send you our DFW double-digit returns case study chart. Once again, for more information, go to nicholasbrownrei.club/partner. But that's just an example, though. But I don't want to get off on your section for leadership, Dr.
Well,
Harris.
but you know, one thing on that, eventually when you have failures like that,
sure,
learn. So
exactly, that's something I learned. I learned
from it.
Know, I have lost money. I have lost properties also, just like you have lost too. But it's just instant, though. But
one of the interesting things you learn is that when you're doing deals, people understand. And so now if I want to do a no money down deal, I'll tell the guy, I'm like, no, I won't take it. You know, you got to do some creative financing now. So eventually you get to the point where you get the house plus money.
Right. How you structure it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So what you're doing is perfectly right. I mean, that when you have the vision of beyond the sale, when you see the whole vision, then you do what you're talking about, which is excellent.
Which we went to our stage that we didn't, both me and you, I didn't have failures, but I learned from my failures. But if it comes close to that time, which I think you call it sensation or whatever, sensation experience, I know where it's not going to be a long of a pain of a sensation at that time. So explain this for what ages, what part of it when you're in your 40s or 50s or 50 to 60? That's the third stage. Can you explain that?
Now the third stage is the stage of power.
Okay, that's where we go.
This is where you learn the deal, you learn the game. You've gone through the failures, you've gone through some victories, some lessons. But at this point in that third stage, you figure out what you want to do in life, what you want to be in life. Start setting your sight now on some serious goals. You say, now I've been here, I've been this, but now let me become more clear about my goals. When we say write the vision, make it plain.
That's right.
Let me become clear now. I want to be a realtor. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be a writer. I want to, whatever it is, you become clear about what you want your life to represent. And now you have the discipline. In the third stage of life, discipline is key. And you're a military person in the Marines, discipline is everything.
Oh, yeah.
If there's no discipline, there's chaos.
Right.
When you have no discipline in your life, you create failure.
Okay.
And so in that third stage of life, you learn now to take control of your emotions. You know, so if you're a ladies' man like I was at that point, you say, you know what, all ladies, you don't need to do all of that anymore.
Right. Right.
That's a whole other trip. So you say, let me take control of that. Let me be more introspective about what I do.
Right. Did you have anyone under you? Did you have a staff, anything when you was an attorney?
Dr. Harris? Okay. I had a good staff. My specialty was mainly entertainment law and trial work.
Okay.
So I worked for a lot of other lawyers handling their stuff.
Okay. So you had to lead how many people or the minimum you have in your staff at that time? Because we're talking about, I want to talk about the leadership part too. I just want to show.
In the law practice, we were relative. We had a researcher, we had 2 lawyers, 2 secretaries, now they call paralegals.
Okay, so you had a team, but you had the last word, but everyone worked as a team together. Am I right?
Well, that's when you have a team of people, you have to be clear about what to tell them.
That's right.
You can't,
okay.
They can't follow you where you don't know where you're going.
Right. Right. All walking blind. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And so that was a good evolutionary period to learn how to state the case, how to paint the vision so that other people could buy into it. When you're as a trial lawyer, your whole job is to paint a picture. When you're on a trial, is you want to convince the judge or the jury that whatever your position is the truth. He didn't do it. And this is why he didn't do it. And this is how it was impossible for him to do it. You paint a picture one way, and then of course the other side paints another picture. But in that third stage of life, you learn who you really are, and you take control. I like to call it an assessment. You assess your strengths, you assess your weaknesses, and you develop a way to focus on your strengths, control your weaknesses,
right,
get desired result based on your goals and your vision for yourself. So that third stage of life is, I like to say, that's when you make it happen. And that's why it's in that stage that most people get to the top. They become the CEO.
Okay.
They become the head person in whatever, discipline they're in. But it's where that third stage is you have to take control of your thoughts so that you're thinking positive, uplifting thoughts. You have to take control of your emotions so that you're not overwhelmed by stuff that feels good. You're not overcome by fear. You're not undermined by doubt. You have to take control of your habits, because your habits can blow you away. If you can have all the good smarts, all the good intent, but if you have bad habits, if you're disorganized, if you're always late, okay,
right,
if those habits can undermine your dreams. And then the fourth key is you got to learn how to pick your people, pick your team, your relationships.
That's right.
And so in that third stage, you learn, like, there are certain people that you hold close, and there's certain people you push away.
Right.
You even get down to the point where you have your family, and you can't divorce your family, but you can sure limit the access.
Right.
It's like you my kind of family that I see on holidays.
Right. Very seldom. Yeah. We're not gonna celebrate this time. Yeah. But after that, hey, you gotta leave here. Yeah. Right.
So that third stage, and I think we're all now, I consider myself in the third and fourth stage. And all of them kind of overlap for a way, but that third stage is where you come into your own, as you are doing right now. You're defining who you are.
Right.
And the fourth stage is the biggie.
What's the biggie? What's the biggie, Dr. Harris?
We call it the stage of immortality. And this is, what do you want your life to have stood for? When you go to a funeral and you have, so often they call it the sunrise and the sunset. Okay, when you were born and when you made your transition. Well, what did you do in between?
Ooh, that's scary.
That's scary. That's what's the quality of your life? What legacy did you leave? Did you leave footprints? Okay. Did you leave shoes that other people can step into and become leaders and grow?
Right.
Did you leave a positive vibration that can be built on? And so the fourth stage of life, that's why I say the immortality too. At some point you say, I would like to live my life so that the impact of my living remains after I have made my transition.
This episode is brought to you by Nicholas Brown, REI.club.
Hello and thanks for watching this brief video. My name is Nicholas Brown. I'm an author and a residential developer here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we're on target this quarter of redeveloping 5 properties here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And our passive investors, they're just sitting back and relaxing it because they're enjoying receiving the double-digit returns, which is protected, secured, and insured. So if you're a passive investor, or if you have 401k or retirement income or decent credit scores in the 700 and above,
then download our chart for more information at nicholasbrownrei.club/partner, and I'll send you our DFW double-digit returns case study chart. Once again, for more information, go to nicholasbrownrei.club/partner. Okay, well, that's going to lead to this, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, make sure if you listen in, subscribe to this. You're going to get more. I'd love to have Dr. Harris come on again also in time for another series. Once we get your questions, leave your questions and reviews. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you guys subscribe, leave your questions and reviews. That's going to lead to page 92 of the book, ladies and gentlemen. We're just about done. So we're just going to tie in to what I'm saying for leadership and personal development. On page 92, it's the law of human magnetism. What I'm going to do is read this, ladies and gentlemen. Then I'm going to get Dr. Harris' perspective on this because this deals with leadership. Whether you're a one-man show or whatever, whether you're a husband and wife, it doesn't matter. So this is part of life. The law of human magnetism, which you read chapter 5. Is that chapter 5? Okay, chapter 5. The fifth universal law of success is the universal law of human magnetism. It is sometimes called the universal law of radiation and attraction. This law is stated in Galatians 6:7. For whosoever a person soweth, that shall they also reap. So whether you ate this or whatever, this is, go to the best text booklet, which is the Bible, which he has chapters of this book, ladies and gentlemen, because it's the same thing, different time. But if you follow these principles that he's showing you, you will be successful. So I'm going to continue this. I'm going to read these first chapters, then he's going to go in deep. I just want to prove a point and read this. A simple statement of the fifth universal law is like attracts like. The basic principle of the universal law of human magnetism is that you attract what you are, and you are what you think about most of the time. Get this point, ladies and gentlemen, when I get through with it. Each of us is a human magnet, attracting. Most of you guys are listening on LinkedIn. I'm going to give you this, why I'm trying to prove a point here. Each of us is a human magnet, attracting or repelling, like or unlike thoughts, feelings, and associations into our life experience, as Dr. Harris said previously. This universal law of radiation and attraction reveals one of the fundamental principles of life, that life is lived from within out. I'm going to repeat that life is lived from within out. I always say you live daily, you die once. Whatever the vision of your desired life experience, it will only manifest when you feel in your innermost feelings that you are worthy, that key word, worthy of it. This is desired outcome. This desired outcome has its greatest impact when it is in harmony. That's a key word too, in harmony. No stinking thinking. We got to be together on this. This is a culture thing with the purpose. What's our mission? By Reverend Ike. Feeling gets the blessing.
Yes,
That is
sir.
deep, man. That's deep. You just got to say something similar to that, ladies and gentlemen. Just repeat this. Repeat this. And you got to rewind it. So, your attitude is a form of human radiation which gives other people a perception and understanding of who you are, what you are about, and where you are going. Where are you going? I want to stress that part. Listen in, watch this. Where are you going in your life? It is a matter of feeling, acting, and thinking that shows your disposition, opinion, and personality. This instrument of communication is a moment to moment projection of your thoughts and feelings onto the world. Based on whatever you send out, the world responds to you. Your attitude, I repeat that, your attitude is a powerful tool which can be used effectively to attract desired people, things, and circumstances in your life experience. The two primary, then I'm going to get Dr. Harris' perspective is here are the two primary components of attitude are projection and perception. So elaborate on that, Dr. Harris.
Well, you know, Nicholas, the what you send out, you know, there's a whole the whole body of knowledge, the book, The Secret. The secret is that you attract into your life that which you desire. And so each of us is almost like a radio. And when you dial in a certain station on that radio, you can hear the programming. And so in our lives, how we feel is like the frequency on the radio. And so like when you feel good about yourself, you radiate that. People get it. When you coming down the street, you're almost whistling and you got a certain walk and you
feel the vibe. They can feel the vibe.
Got glide in your stride and cut in your strut, you know, and people feel it.
Right.
And that's that thing that you're radiating. That's that energy. That's that vibration. And so when we couple that with the idea life is lived from within out, we're saying that whatever you're sending out is confirmed by what comes back to you. And so when we find ourselves in our lives where we're attracting a lot of negative people, I once on a trial and I was representing a guy who was a pickpocket. He stole people, he robbed people, picked their wallets out of their pockets. And he was really good at it. You can be really good at bad things. But he said he always knew who to rob. He said he could look at the person. Yeah, he could see how they walked, how they looked around, how they related to
their posture.
Yes, their posture. And so if you find, and for the listeners, if you are attracting a lot of negative people into your space, if you're attracting consistent failure into your space, don't look outside. You know, it's very easy to blame other people. Like, man, all these no good people keep coming into my life. You know, why are they doing that? It's their fault. What you realize is that you call in that Galatians when it says, whatsoever you sow it, that also when you reap, when you're sending out a vibration. And so if you're sending out a negative vibration of unworthiness, if you don't feel worthy of good things coming to you, you're going to attract people who confirm that vibration. So you're going to attract people who will take advantage of you. Have you ever noticed, Nicholas, there's some people that somebody's always stealing from them. That somebody's always cheating on them. That somebody's always doing things to them that are not positive, negative things. So what is that? That person needs to look inside and say, what am I doing that's calling people into my life who cheat?
Right.
What am I doing that's causing me consistent failure? You know, even when I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to be doing, and yet I fail. There may be an issue inside that feeling. When Reverend Ike says feeling is the blessing, is that whatever you feel about yourself is confirmed by your outside world.
Okay.
And so that whole idea there of the feeling is the blessing, and the attitude is the way that your feelings are communicated to the world.
Okay.
The attitude is like the waves that take your feeling nature out and let the world know. And so when when you see certain people coming down the street, man, they have a certain attitude, their face is all drawn up. They're walking like, don't get in my way.
Right.
And you can feel they haven't said a word.
Right.
But and you know, from the military, when you're dealing, how you deal with people, a part of knowing what to do is to size them up based on the vibration you're getting from them.
Right. Walking in the room, you can tell what their posture or their feeling is. Most people when they walk in the room, or their attitude, as you say before. So one question, then we're just about to wrap this, Dr. Harris, which I appreciate your time. As you see, ladies and gentlemen, time goes by fast, but I can't let you go because of these series that's about leadership. So Dr. Harris, what's your understanding? What is leadership to you of your life of blessed? You've been blessed. Leadership has changed you. You've been in different types of positions or whatever at that time of your life. What is leadership overall to you?
Well, number one, leadership to me is living by example.
Okay.
You know, in the military, There are two kinds of leaders. There are one kind that will point to the hill and say, go take that hill.
Okay.
And then there's another kind that will grab the gun and start charging down the hill, and they say, let's take that hill.
Hmm.
Well, the one who grabs the gun and runs down the hill, that's a leader.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I can see it. I have my
Yeah.
eyes closed. That's what I'm going with. Going with that one. Yeah. Bold.
Yeah.
Take the step. No fear.
That's it.
What's right was right. Yeah.
That's it. The first principle of leadership is to lead by example.
Okay.
To live your life in such a way that if the people follow you and do what you do, everything will be all right.
This episode is brought to you by Nicholas Brown, REI.club.
Hello and thanks for watching this brief video. My name is Nicholas Brown. I'm an author and a residential developer here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we're on target this quarter of redeveloping 5 properties here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And our passive investors, they're just sitting back and relaxing it because they're enjoying receiving the double-digit returns, which is protected, secured, and insured. So if you're a passive investor, or if you have 401k or retirement income or decent credit scores in the 700 and above,
then download our chart for more information at nicholasbrownrei.club/partner, and I'll send you our DFW double-digit returns case study chart. Once again, for more information, go to nicholasbrownrei.club/partner. Wow, that's cut and dry. So you don't have to own a business or whatever. You can be husband, wife and husband, or whatever. You know, that's what leadership is. Lead by an example, positive example. That's awesome. Well, hey, Dr. Harris, hey, man, I appreciate your time. Once again, I'm so excited. It just moves so fast. What do you got going on? Would you see the book, ladies and gentlemen? You see on YouTube, make sure you guys go online. How can they get that book?
They can get it, of course, it's on all Amazon, Walmart, all the digital websites. It's, of course, on our website, herbertharris.com.
Okay.
And then what we've been working on is, I've learned that I've done a lot of seminars and webinars. And one thing this pandemic has really given people a chance to be at home.
Right.
So we designed a home study course.
Okay.
Embodying a lot of the principles from the book. It's called The New You for the New Year Home Study Course.
Okay.
And it's available through our website, herbertharris.com. But in this home study course, we teach the 4 principles of transformation. Number 1, that you have to assess where you are. Life is like a GPS. We have a GPS. And when you want to use your GPS effectively, you need 2 things. You need to know where you are and where you're going.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
It's really useless without those 2 things. And so to transform yourselves, the first class in our home study course is to assess your location. We call it Face the Facts. Let's look at who you really are. Let's look at your strengths. Let's look at your weaknesses. Okay. The second class is called Changing the Sales. It's called Making the Life Changes. What changes, based on your assessment, what changes must you make in your life to transform your life to become what you want to be?
Okay.
We talk about ways to make changes. And with our course is a workbook, so you can start writing the stuff down. We try to apply spiritual principle. Write the vision. Write your vision. The third class is about, we call it setting your goals and objectives. That many times we may not know where we're going, but when we assess our situation, when we look at taking corrective action, it reveals something to us. It's like one of the questions we ask is like, what is it that brings you joy? What is it, because we can get so involved with dealing with circumstances and situations that we forget what brings us joy.
Right. Right.
And to start looking at life from that perspective. And then the 4th class is called Commitment to Action. That once you've assessed it, once you've addressed it, once you now have a goal in mind, then the rubber hits the road. It's not enough to write it down. It's what you have to now is develop a consistent daily method of operation to take you from where you are to where you want to go. And so this home study course is going to change the game plan, because it gives people a chance to learn it at their pace. Matter of fact, we have a section in there on how to study. We took it right from the book.
That's what I was about to say. In the original book, you got an assessment
on how to
section
study.
on it. Okay, but you got an online course with videos, or is it person to person? Is it on Zoom or record?
Yeah,
okay.
The reason we did it with audio is because I want people to be able to listen to it while they're riding.
That's right.
I want to be able to close their eyes.
Okay. So this is an audio.
It's audio.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 audios with the introduction, and then it has a workbook.
Okay.
The workbook is a fill in the blanks. You can fill it in online or you can print it out, but the fill in the blanks, because as you begin to write, every success story, every success book tells you to write your goals. But we provide a venue, a vehicle for you to write your goals now, print them out and look at them.
Okay.
And then when you complete the class, you get a certificate. There's a certificate that comes with it. You fill it in. And then the other portion is we do a mastermind session. After you've taken the class, a part of that class piece is to be a part of we'll do a mastermind session where you get a chance to debrief. You know, many times you read stuff, you hear stuff, but you just like to ask a question.
Right. Give someone else's perspective in the group. Perspective rather in the group. Okay.
And so that's our current project. We're taking the principles in the 12 universal laws of success and applying them through the new you for the new year home study course. And it's for you. The new year starts whenever you make a decision to change.
That's right. You
don't have to worry about the calendar. Somebody said, well, what about next? Hey, the moment you make a decision to change your life, that's your new year.
That's going to lead to this, Dr. Harris. I can't let you go. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we're just about done. I'm going to jump the gun, but I'm going to get him to finish off this episode and this video with his last words. But I'm going to use my words. As you always know, when I finish, I always say, don't condemn, don't complain, because you have a choice to make a change. But I'm going to let Dr. Harris, it's in his book, The Affirmation. Today is finish off with that one. Today is what? It's the most awesome day.
Today is the most magnificent day of my life.
That's right.
Wealth, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and money come to me in great abundance.
All right. Yes. Man, I appreciate you, man. I thank God for meeting you at that time, man. And thank you for your time, Dr. Harris, man.
My pleasure. And keep up your good work, Nicholas. I'm so proud of you, man, because it's going to take you the next generation.
Okay.
You're in that power stage right now.
Right.
And your message, your show, your program, the things that you do are like seeds that you're planting, and others can come along and benefit from them. So continue your great work. And I'm honored to be here and look forward to another episode with you.
Thank you. One more, because this is my podcast show, so I can edit it out or whatever. I want to thank you for giving out your videos. You have every Saturdays and Fridays or whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, you go on YouTube, Facebook, or whatever. He's going to give you the knowledge. And that's why I done my podcast, because you have history. The Indians had histories on their caves and their walls where they can tell their family. You have so much history on the internet. It's just out there. So it's because of you, Dr. Harris. I want to make this, I'm not editing this out. So I just want to prove that point. I thank you. I know it's plenty of people that read your book and they hear from you. Thank God for you. And I want you to keep enduring, man. I appreciate you. Okay. So
thank you so much.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good one. See you on the next episode. I'm going to finish off my part. Don't condemn, don't complain, because you have a choice to make a change. Here's an example. Have a great day.
Remember, the best is yet to come.
That's right.
Thanks for joining us on the Nicholas Brown Podcast. Make sure to visit our website, www.nickbrowninc.com, where you can subscribe to the show in iTunes, Stitcher, or via RSS, so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too. If you like this show and you are a new real estate investor, then check out one of Nicholas's free reports called the Wholesale Dominator Report, also located on our website, www.nickbrowninc.com/free reports. Be sure to tune in for our next episode. And remember, don't condemn, don't complain, because you have a choice to make a change. Have a great day.